What's good, everybody? It's Jeff Lighty Jr. here with the Black Boss Channel and Victory Formation. We've got my man, Mr. Webby Webb, Mark Webster, here in the building, and we're going to be talking about all things NFL and also Russell Westbrook, the newest Laker. Well, the most notable newest Lakers, a bunch of them, but we're going to talk about it right after the bumper. What's happening, everybody? It's us two again. And Mark, how's it going, buddy?
Hey Jeff, what's going on? Always good to be on here, man. I'm excited. I'm excited.
Yes. It's a lot to be excited about. I see you got your terrible towel behind you, and we're going to get into some NFL talk. But before we talk about what's happening in the NFL with the Steelers, with the Ravens, with the 49ers, with whatever your favorite team is, even my Raiders, but whatever, we're going to get into Russell Westbrook. He is the most notable new Laker. He was introduced today at a press conference with Rob Pelinka, the GM, and Frank Vogel, the head coach. Mark, I haven't talked to you since the Russell Westbrook trade. What are your thoughts on Russ heading to LA to play with LeBron, Melo, and the rest of the Lakers crew?
It's go time. I mean, it's go time. I am sick and tired of hearing people talking about how old these grown men are. First of all, sometimes I think personally this is going to work really well for the Lakers. Like a lot of people are saying, like, "Oh, Russ, this he didn't do it with KD. He didn't do it with James Harden." We're talking about LeBron James, though. This is a different type of beast that he's going to be playing with. As Russ said in this press conference earlier, he's one of the most dominant players in the NBA.
Spicy talk from Russ.
The fact that Russell Westbrook said that, I think that Russ is committed to being a team player like he's never been before. And I think it's going to work out perfectly fine.
Yeah. Russ is someone that you can always count on. I did a video when he was first traded, but the thing about Russ, and one thing I'll never have to worry about with Russell Westbrook is he going to bring it today, right? Like, is he going to show up to work today? As I pull up, I'm going to pull up just a picture of Russ from his new digs as he's a Laker now. As we see Mr. Westbrook there, all smiling, cheesy. He's pretty happy to be wearing a purple and gold. But like I said, the one thing you never have to worry about with Russell Westbrook is he going to bring it, right? I guess the thing is with a lot of people, Mark, I want to ask you this is how do you think it's going to be playing with LeBron? Because we know Russ is someone who thrives with the ball in his hands, right? Like Russell Westbrook isn't a guy who just stands over in the corner and gets it, and shoots up a three. He's not that great of a three-point shooter. He needs the lane to get in and score and get his buckets. What do you see in that case where Anthony Davis is most effective in the paint and Bron and Russ are most effective driving, but also handling the ball?
They're gonna, and like it all comes down to literally on the coaching. It's gonna have to come down to gameplay because you have too many players that like to score. Like pure point blank. Like, yes, scoring is good, but you have to have a system that's going to allow you to be able to score. So what that might mean, I know this might sound really weird. They might have to switch up some lineups. Like they might have to be able to put Russ out there with Wayne and Malik and and Melo, and maybe take LeBron off the court for a little bit just to be able to have that ball moving around. Like, yes, LeBron is going to be the most, he's going to be dominant, but we don't know how 100% AD is going to be. We don't know how 100% LeBron's going to be, and we don't know how that's going to play and factor into why they really might have considered Westbrook coming into the Lakers. So it's going to create a lot of problems, but how can those problems be resolved? By doing different things like that.
That's super interesting because you mentioned a bunch of guys that we haven't talked about, but that are now a part of the Lakers. You're talking about Malik Monk. You're talking about Kendrick Nunn. You're talking about Carmelo Anthony. All these guys will now be with the NBA's all-time triple-double leader, Russell Westbrook, the 9-time All-Star, the 9-time All-NBA, the 2017 MVP. I'm showing some of Russ's stats on this graphic the Lakers put out there because it's something to get excited about, right? Like Russell Westbrook, like I said, I didn't, initially I didn't think it was happening. It would happen. I didn't think it was a great fit. I didn't think it was a smart decision. But then the more and more I chime on it, it's like, bro, Russ is a beast, dog. Like that's what it comes down to. Like Russell Westbrook is a really, really good NBA player. And so anytime you're a team in the NBA and you're able to accumulate talent, right? Put talent on your team, make your team better by going out and getting better players, then I'm all for it. I'm all for it because he is someone, and he's better than Schroeder. He's better than Kyle Kuzma. He's better than Montrezl Harrell. Like, those are the guys you gave up to get Russell Westbrook and whoever the 22nd pick was in this year's draft. I'm not sure who it even was, but the man is a beast. And he is motivated, right? He is the first former, listen to this, Mark. He's the first former MVP, NBA MVP to ever be traded in 3 straight off seasons. 3 straight off seasons, Russell Westbrook got traded from OKC to Houston, from Houston to the DC and the Wizards, and now from DC to the Lakers. He is going out there to try to prove, like, yo, I'm not a soup sandwich, right? Like, I am a baller. I am someone who gets it done in the NBA. I dominate the game, right? Like you said earlier. And so that's what I'm I am. It took me a while I'm going to be honest, just as a basketball guy and someone who like compares styles and the way people play and things like that. I was a little nervous. You know what I'm saying? I was like, Russ, the Lakers, LeBron, AD, there's no shooting. It's like, oh, okay. But then I sat there and I slept on it and I slept on it some more. And I'm like, yo, Russ is a beast, dog. And anytime that we can add more dogs to the kennel, I'm all for it. Now, Mark, I do have to ask you this, buddy. What about the age? Does the age of the team scare you? It's a lot of old dudes. We're talking about Trevor Ariza, Dwight Howard, Carmelo Anthony, LeBron. And Russ ain't old, but Russ got a lot of miles and a few injuries that's piled up. What are your thoughts on the age of the Los Angeles Lakers?
Now, that is a concern to a point. That is a concern to a point. At first, I said I wasn't worried, but like I said, you look down the roster, 35, 34, 33, whatever it may be.
36, 37. LeBron 36, turning 37. Melo's 37. Like,
so these guys got, like you said, they got mileage on them. You know what I'm saying? It's a matter of how they're going to be used throughout this whole season to be able to produce, 82-game season. And like our injuries going to occur. Like, that's why I'm really eager to see how Frank Vogel is going to manage these guys, and are these guys going to be able to speak enough for themselves, saying like, "Hey, am I playing the whole game, or am I going to am I doing back-to-back games?" Like, we know the wear and tear what happened last season. If they want to have any shot of, like I said, that long haul, they're going to have to be disciplined and being able to say, "Okay, some back-to-backs aren't working." Their age, and we've seen how the load management has taken place on these guys because, relatively speaking, it looks really good, like on paper, but like you said, this thing can go catastrophic quick. Like, it can really go back quick. Like it literally, Dwight Howard can get injured. You know what I'm saying? Like anybody, AD, we don't know what his status is really. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so these guys can use, like, it can turn real quick, but then also it could be very beneficial as well because of this. You have this veteran team with these you got some young guys on there who are willing. Who are some dogs like Malik Monk? Like, he's a dog.
Kendrick Nunn, Malik Monk. Those are tough. And Horton Tucker, I expect to take a jump this season. I think he's going to be a lot better than we've seen so far. I don't think he's gotten the clock or the playing time that he expected or that he would like. But I definitely think he's going to take a jump because he's someone that I think has a lot of potential. I've seen him play, and I've seen him play well at times. Now, I want to see it out there when it matters the most. Now, we're speaking of Russ, and we're speaking of the Lakers, and be sure, for those of you tuning in, be sure to hit the thumbs up button, like, share, subscribe, and leave your comments over in the chat so we can answer any of the questions that you have. But also, one thing that's trending on Twitter is Dennis Schroeder. Right. So I want to talk to you because we're talking about Russell Westbrook, and Dennis Schroeder matters because he factors into this Russell Westbrook. Just think about this, Mark. During the season, the Lakers offered Dennis Schroeder a contract that was 4 years, $84 million. Now, I'm not a math wizard, but that's over $20 million a year if he would have accepted it during the season. He turned it down because he wanted a contract upwards of $100 million, right? Like he's seeing all these other dudes get paid. He wanted to get paid. So now Dennis Schroeder, Lakers like, to hell with Dennis Schroeder. They went out and traded for Russell Westbrook, and Schroeder is out there as a free agent. he's not getting any offers, Mark. He overplayed his hand. He thought he was worth, an A-list celebrity price, and he's really like a Z-list celebrity price, right? So now I'm looking at these reports from Twitter, and I'm going to show you one from Hoop Central. It says, report Celtics have offered Dennis Schroeder a 1 year at the taxpayer $5.9 million, Mark. Now, Mark, I'm not a math wizard. I promise you my education level is just okay, right? Like, I'm not the smartest. I am not the highest grade of weed in the dispensary is what Charlemagne says. But to go from $20 million a year, $84 million over 4 years, to a 1 year deal worth less than $6 million is pretty bad, wouldn't you say?
Right. Oh, well, for dang sure, Jeff. The way you just broke that down was so smooth because, like, Dennis he shot himself in the foot, man. Like, he really had he not tried to be greedy and try to, seem as if he was worth more. We obviously seen the production he did. Like, come on, dude. Like, you should have shut up and took that money. Because all LA did was like, all right, bet. Well, we know Russ want to come here. We know LeBron really could probably care less if Dennis was there or not. So he's talking. He's like, hey, we need to get a guard in here that can move this ball around. So they really got bang for the buck. And now they're like, hey, Dennis, that's your problem. If you don't now, and the Celtics look at it as like, okay, well, we know he's not, nobody else is. They've sit back and they looked at it like, okay, nobody else is throwing offers out. Let's give them the lowest as possible when they know they can get more to this man. And basically saying, okay, well, if you want to be on the team, we'll give you $5.5 mil?
$5.9 million.
Mil? Come on, man. You really fumbled the dang bag, Dennis. You fumbled the bag because you thought you were better than what you actually were. Period, point blank.
I mean, this is incredible, man. I mean, if this is How to Be an Idiot 101, Dennis Schroeder is the head lead professor, right? Like, he's got a PhD in being an idiot. Because, like I said, if it wasn't for him, and think about it, a lot of Lakers fans, including the newest Laker fan, Russell Westbrook, is thankful that Dennis turned down the Lakers offer during the season, because if he didn't turn down that $84 million contract, Russ wouldn't be a Laker right now. Right. And a lot of people wouldn't be, hanging up championship banners thinking that Russell Westbrook, in combination with LeBron James, in combination with Anthony Davis, in combination with Carmelo Anthony, et cetera, will be able to bring home a title, right? So thank you, Dennis, because as much as I'm not crazy about the fit of Russell Westbrook or whatever, I am excited about Russ. I damn sure wasn't excited about Dennis Schroeder. That's one thing. Like, whether I think Russell Westbrook, first of all, I know he's an upgrade over Dennis Schroeder. I know they're going to be a better team with Russ as opposed to Dennis. But one other thing that I do know as well is that even if the Lakers ended up don't winning the title, right? Like, I know they're one thing, they're going to be a lot more interested with Russ as opposed to Dennis Schroeder. I know there's going to be a lot more people interested in the games with Russ as opposed to Dennis Schroeder. And I know even though Russ is on a huge contract, you're getting more bang for your buck. The man is going to go out there. He's going to average a triple-double. He's going to do what he's supposed to do. He's going to do his job. And he's going to play hard every single night. I can't say the same about Dennis Schroeder. I just simply can't. I simply can't at all.
Hey, man, you can't.
But we will move on from the NBA because basketball season's over, man. I remember this press conference, I said in one of the group meetings we were in earlier, I was like, man, I love the NBA. It's all cool. Summer league, cool. You know what I'm saying? I want to talk about Russ because Russ is the guy. But it's football season, dog. We are less than a month away from football. The preseason games are in full effect. Everything is happening right now, Mark. And your Pittsburgh Steelers were on TV. They got a dub over the Cowboys. It's preseason. It don't count. Dak Prescott didn't play, but it doesn't matter. Whatever. But there is a lot of football that is going to be played over the next month until the first game on September 9th. Mark, what are some of your favorite things you're looking forward to this season in the NFL, the 2021 season? The floor is yours, sir.
Oh, man, Jeff Licey Jr. So, of course, I would be crazy if I did not talk about this team right behind me, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Oh, my
God.
I'm very – this is a different story. I'm very interested to see how these guys, bounce back. They definitely crapped the bed last year. They've been Super Bowl champions. Like, this pure point blank. You know what I'm saying? You start 11-0. And then you just completely fall down throughout the thing. Now, the biggest question with the Steelers this year is the run game. You know, you got the explosive back out of Alabama. You know, Najee Harris
Najee
with
Harris
a
the beast.
offensive line. I'm very nervous for that. You know, I don't know how that's going to shape out with when you have very aggressive defense like the Cleveland Browns. They're coming licking their lips. The Baltimore
Yeah.
Ravens. So, the Pittsburgh Steelers are an interesting team. I would like to see, but moving outside of the AFC North, I would like to see how those Kansas City Chiefs, what they got up their sleeves because personally, Jeff's. I think Patrick Mahomes, like I said, he's might be licking his
Don't say
chops.
nothing crazy now. Don't say nothing crazy. We keep going. Hold on, watch it. What? Like I'm not a. I don't like the Chiefs. I'm a Raiders guy.
Hey,
But
hear me out.
watch your mouth with Patrick. That man's a beast. I watch him every year because once again I'm a Raiders guy. So what was you about to say? I didn't mean to cut you off, but I just had to stop you before you said something blasphemous.
so these guys, they're on Twitter, right? And if I'm not mistaken, their goal is to go undefeated. They have made like remarks that like, hey, we're about to try to make this undefeated. Now, I don't personally, I think the Chiefs are going to surprise a lot of people. They might not do as well as they did last year.
What's that mean? Like, they went to Super Bowl last year, so that's.
Well, I think they might just fall into like just a really a solid team that might get surprised by some other teams out there. Like everyone.
What makes you think that? What makes you think that?
What makes me?
Is it just a guess? Like, what makes you think
that? That's a Webby Webb wild ass prediction right there. I think because everyone this thing. Hear me out, Jeff. A lot of people are like, okay, Kansas City, they're going to be, okay, the Super Bowl, let's do a rematch, blah blah. But no one's talking about other teams like the Bills. No one's talking about other teams like improved Colts if they can get Wentz back. You know what I'm saying? No one's talking about the Ravens. No one's talking about like these teams that have chips on their shoulders. So I'm like, let's ease off the Chiefs a little bit because we just never know what these other teams are going to do, man.
Guys, excuse my friend, my fraternity brother, my Neo, Mr. Mark Webster, because he just put out a bunch of BS. Let's be honest. What I will say, Mark, to your point, a lot of people are predicting a rematch between the Chiefs and the Saints. And once again, this is the Black Boss channel. Be sure to hit the thumbs up button and all that good stuff. But they are predicting a rematch between the Saints. I mean, not the Saints. I'm sure the Saints are gonna be garbage. Not the Saints. The Bucks and the Chiefs, right? And for good reason. The Bucks brought back all 22 starters, which is like unheard of a team winning the Super Bowl. How the hell do you bring back all 22 starters? That doesn't even sound real. But the Chiefs have Boy Wonder and Patrick Mahomes, and they brought back Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce, and they went in the Ravens like idiots, traded them one of the best left tackles in all of football for 2 packs of Trident layers. Like, what the hell is going on with that? They send him Zeus, they send him Orlando Brown or whatever his name is, and he's going to be their left tackle. They went out and got a right tackle from the Patriots, and now they upgraded their whole offensive line. The only problem they had, which essentially cost them a Super Bowl, right? And so that's why people are so high on the Chiefs, right? But it's hard to go to Super Bowl 3 years in a row. Like it's just tough. And they would offsides penalty away if they went this year and 2 years ago from going 4 years in a row. It's just almost impossible. But the Chiefs are going to be really good. They're not going to disappoint people. They're going to be really good. They'll probably be in the AFC Championship game at the minimum. The team that I think is going to be a team that's going to do the damage is the Baltimore Ravens. You want to know why? Mr. Lamar Jackson. Yes, I said it. Lamar Jackson right there in your division. What is that? The AFC North? What do you guys? AFC North. They're going to be tearing up the AFC North. The Browns are going to be really good too. I'm not going to sleep on the Browns. I think Baker is just good enough. I think that running tandem duo of Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, who both just signed new contracts, who will both be Browns for the foreseeable future, looks like, are really, really good. Baker is good enough to get it done. But Lamar Jackson is out to prove something. You know why he's out to prove something? Because Josh Allen just got $158 million, $150 million guaranteed. Dak Prescott just got 4 years, $60 million, $75 million in the first year 1. Lamar Jackson wants to get paid, dog, and he ain't got paid yet. And whether he gets paid this offseason or he gets paid next offseason. More likely it'll be this offseason. But if he waits till next offseason, he'll be betting on himself. And here's what I mean by that. Because here's what Lamar Jackson could be on the precipice of doing, right? This is why I think his season is going to be so special. Lamar Jackson, the standard of NFL contracts for quarterbacks right now is Patrick Mahomes. He got the 10-year deal, $450, which is like $45 million a year, right? And everybody else's deal has fallen under that. Dak got 40, Josh Allen got 43. Everybody, nobody's gonna touch Pat Mahomes because he has an MVP. He has a Super Bowl, and he's been in the Super Bowl twice already in 4 years, right? So it's in an AFC champion. In his 3 years starting, he's got 2 Super Bowl appearances, 1 win, in an AFC championship game. So, like, in the year he didn't go to the Super Bowl. So he's pretty stacked. Here's what Lamar Jackson can do. If he goes out there and wins the MVP, or wins a championship, and potentially have another great or historic season, he could have an MVP, potentially 2, and a Super Bowl and a Super Bowl MVP. What would that line him up to do, Mark? That will line him up to get a deal bigger than Patrick Mahomes. And we're talking about the $45 to $50 million in the bank. And not to mention, listen to this, Mark, he doesn't even have an agent. His agent, his mom, Miss Felicia Jones is his agent. So his mom is going to be going up to the Ravens if Lamar is able to win the Super Bowl and say, cut the damn check. We want it. Bring it to us. Us, the Jacksons, the Joneses, all of us. We trying to get paid. And Lamar wants to get paid like he's the best because guess what? Quite frankly, he is one of the best. He is going to have to improve. They improved his receiver room. They improved his receiver room. They went out and got Sammy Watkins. They got Tylan Wallace. They drafted Rashad Bateman in the first round. Those are some ball players. Now he's got to go out there and prove it.
So who is going to be blocking for Lamar Jackson? Let's talk about the offensive line. Have they fixed the offensive line problem yet? Have they fixed it? I know they went out and got Villanova. They took him from Pittsburgh, right? He couldn't block worth a damn. He was getting chewed up. He was part of the reason he was getting negative 10, 15 yards. So he is starting to become a loner from the Baltimore Ravens. So as a Steelers fan, I say thank you, Baltimore. I do think Lamar is he has a big chip on his shoulder. I would love to see Lamar Jackson succeed. But they're setting this man up to not do that, though. Look at have they fixed the offensive line? You said they got him receivers, right?
They got him receivers. The line wasn't a problem. Look, here's the thing. The line wasn't a problem. You just Ronnie Stanley, which is probably the best left tackle in all of football, was hurt all of last year. So that's when they moved Orlando. I think his name is Orlando Brown. I keep wanting to say Orlando Pace, which is an old player. But they moved Orlando Brown from the right tackle to the left tackle, and then he became one of the best left tackles.
Didn't he get rid?
The only problem is they gave him to your biggest rival. Your biggest rival ain't Pittsburgh. Their biggest rival ain't the Browns. The biggest rival is the Chiefs right now.
Right, exactly.
The Chiefs are the kings of the castle in the AFC. And so the fact that the Baltimore Ravens, who was along with the Bills and along with maybe even the Browns, are some of the teams on the precipice of trying to upset the Chiefs, give away your best player to the Chiefs or one of your best players, your best lineman, it doesn't make sense. So, no, I don't know what the offensive line is going to look like because you have a left tackle coming off a season-ending injury, and you gave away your other best offensive lineman to the best team in the AFC. It doesn't make no damn sense, man. I can't get past it.
And so, but credit to the Ravens, they did make some moves on defense. They did take Justin Houston. Picked up Justin Houston, and Pittsburgh actually did. He is old, but he gives time. He gives that leadership. To help. To help improve. Baltimore's defense. But I think the biggest thing as we talk about Lamar Jackson, he's got to be able to take lead to a point where, like, okay, if I know if my receiver core might not be the best, Sammy Watkins, like, hopefully he can stay healthy the whole season.
Yeah.
That was the biggest problem. But another thing, if I'm the Ravens, I'm calling Pittsburgh for James Washington because James Washington he's requesting the trade. I'm saying, like, hey,
I didn't know that.
A legit, he's a top. He can be a top 3 on a team.
He can play. He can play. He's got a case of the drops.
Yeah, he's got a
case of. But all the receivers in Pittsburgh have the case of the drops.
Yeah, but I'm thinking, if they have to get somebody else in there, they just can't say, oh, we got Sammy Watkins, and our problems are fixed. Hell no, because you need another go-getter receiver. You couldn't get Antonio Brown because he's happy. He's about to get him down there another Super Bowl.
Yeah.
They're not leaving Brady and them. So I think for Lamar to be able to have that that piece of. I mean, they still might give them let's say they win the North, which I don't know if it's possible this year. You know what I'm saying? For them, it might. We
Come
just
on,
got to
man.
see how.
Come on, man. Be real with yourself.
But
Be real
but
with you.
you know,
We talked a lot about Lamar Jackson. Let's talk about your guy, Ben Roethlisberger, man.
okay.
They saying Ben Roethlisberger's in the best shape of his life. They saying Ben Roethlisberger done lost some weight and he's actually working out and all of this good stuff. What are your thoughts on Pittsburgh? How good is Pittsburgh going to be this year? Their defense, they always lead the league in sacks, but they can't run the ball. Haven't ran the ball in a long time. And they can't seem to score points when they matter the most. But they have weapons. Chase Claypool's a stud. Juju Smith-Schuster, when he ain't ticky-tocking, he can actually play. You know what I'm saying? And Najee Harris is a baller. So, but what is that offensive line like? What's Pittsburgh? What's going on in Steel City?
It is really optimistic right now, Jeff. I kid you not. Like, the defense, we lost. They lost some big pieces. Bud Dupree was a huge free agent, losing going to Tennessee. Yeah. But you bring back TJ Watt, you got Joe Hayden, you got those guys. So defense, I think they won't miss too much. But offense,
and you get Devin Bush back. Don't you get Devin Bush back?
Yeah, you get Devin Bush back, for the torn ACL. So, and then you got Alex Highsmith, which is Bud Dupree's replacement, who is an absolute dog. So now offensively, it starts to become a problem of like, okay, how can these guys produce with a lot of rookies that might be starting, with a Ben Roethlisberger who in the past has been injury prone, but he's coming off a Tommy John injury, and look what he did, Jeff. He was balling. He was balling, man. So that's
really balling. Was he really balling? Like, is he really balling?
For somebody to come off a Tommy John surgery and throw the ball almost 50 times a game with minimum offensive line, now you got a premier running back. Yes, I'm calling him premier. Najee Harris, open field. Like this guy might. Hey, it might be working. It might work out, man. It might work out. So Big Ben Roethlisberger, I think he's out to prove some people wrong. Like I said, I'm of course probably going to eat my words because I know Pittsburgh always likes to let people down, and what I'm saying. Everybody might lose. Next thing you know, here come the Browns. So that's my thoughts on Pittsburgh, Jeff.
Oh yeah, I think Pittsburgh, man. You guys got pieces, right? Like you got pieces. You got some guys that can play. Now, whether they're gonna be good or not, I mean, I don't know. But I'm not a. I think Ben Roethlisberger's washed. Leave your thoughts in the chat. Leave your thoughts in the comments. Do you think Ben Roethlisberger's washed? I think he is. I think Ben Roethlisberger's over the hill. I think we've seen the best of Big Ben. I think this will be his last year as a starting quarterback in the as the Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean, maybe he'll get a job somewhere else, but I don't think he'll be the quarterback of the Steelers anymore. I think the Steelers realize that. Huh?
No, he's going to Canton.
Oh yeah, I mean, he'll go to Canton. Just don't let no women be in the way on his way up to Canton. Just make everybody's secured and everybody hide your kids and hide your wives. Well, mainly hide your wives. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, but last thing about Pittsburgh from my end, the strength of schedule is brutal. So that's why I'm not really high. I mean, you open up at the Bills and you got to play the Raiders. I'm saying that these type of teams, like when they aren't playing for anything, like a team like the Raiders, they come out and give everything they got, but this is early. They can be a different team. Your boy Derek Carr, he can be out to prove people wrong. Then you got your typical
man. Don't put no stock in Derek Carr, man. Like that's if we gonna talk about somebody, let's talk about somebody else. But I ain't putting no stock in Derek Carr. But we're looking at the Pittsburgh. Remember, it's a 17-game season. Say you start off at the Bills, you got the Raiders who can play tough. Cincinnati's not gonna be that good, but they're always a tough game. Division game. Obviously, the Packers are rough. Broncos are trash, but the Seahawks are really good. The Browns are really good. The Bears. I think by this week, by what week is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And Justin Fields will probably be starting by the time that he's a rookie, but he's very talented. The Chargers and Justin Herbert. I mean, his schedule is bananas. I'm not gonna lie. His schedule is, man, Mark, his schedule's pretty rough, G. Like, I don't know how well they're gonna fare with this tough schedule. Like I said, I mean, it's gonna be tough. It is definitely gonna be challenging for the Steelers. Mark, we haven't talked much about NFC teams. Okay. Who is an NFC team that you got on the radar that you might like, that you might hate? Who are some of the teams that stand out or that think is going to be very disappointing over in the NFC?
I really just think I'm still high on the Bucs, man. I really just think that Tom Brady is living his damn best life, and he knows that. He just knows, Jeff. It's like I have came to a point where I started like, okay, you know what? I just have to accept it. This man has made these players into people who he wants to. You know what I'm saying? Like he has started to build like his profile into his demeanor into like, hey, we're coming out and we're gonna run it up again. I mean, because who's gonna stop them, Jeff?
It's ridiculous.
I don't know like a team that really in the NFC that can really that's going to be able to match up them and beat them when it's going to count. Will it be the Packers? I don't know. Is Aaron Rodgers going to be all in for Green Bay? Are the Rams going to be a team to look out for? Now that I mean, but I don't.
They're going to be tough. The Rams are going to be tough. They're a team that I like. I like the Rams a lot.
You like the Rams, so you like Matthew. Let's just break down the quarterback. You like Matthew Stafford over Tom Brady. I don't.
No, it's not that I like Stafford over Tom Brady. I just like Stafford in that system. I've seen what that system has done for quarterbacks, right? Like that system that McVay runs, that Kyle Shanahan runs, that LaFleur runs down in Green Bay. That system is like quarterback heaven. I mean, it puts their stats on steroids. Look where Aaron Rodgers had seasons like that before, so he's not an outlier. But look what it did for Matt Ryan and helped him win an MVP. Look what it did for Jared Goff. It got the Rams to the Super Bowl. And Jared Goff is not that good. I mean, just be honest. Like he's not that great of a quarterback. So that system, and you put a guy as talented as a Matthew Stafford. I mean, Stafford is really, really talented. Now, can he win in the playoffs? I have no idea. But with those players, they got players now. They lost Cam Akers, which hurts, but they have other players in Cooper Kupp and what's the other Robert Jones, and then obviously the defense has got we got Reynolds, and then obviously the defense has got the best defender I've ever seen in my own eyeballs, and Aaron Donald. Not to mention one of the best corners in the NFL, Mr. 99 Club on Madden, Jalen Ramsey. So the Rams I think they're very. The only problem with the Rams is they can't suffer an injury. If they get any injuries, it's over. But because they're very top heavy, but they're top heavy enough to get and win a Super Bowl, I believe. And that's the team I really like. Another team that I like, but I don't know what their quarterback situation is going to be like, is the 49ers. I mean, a lot of the NFC West is tough, man. The NFC West with the 49ers, the Seahawks, who are going to be really good as long as they get their left tackle situation figured out, the Rams, and then obviously the Cardinals are in the bottom half of the division, but they're also a pretty good team. That's going to be really interesting to watch. I like those NFC teams, but like you said, the NFC – it goes through Mr. Brady in Tampa now, dog. It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. The fact that they were able to go out and win a Super Bowl with no offseason, struggling as bad as they were struggling in the middle of the season. Second half rip off against everybody, to rip off and just beat everybody and then go into the playoffs. Now, granted, their playoff scenario was not perfect. They should have lost that game to the Packers. I mean, just be honest. Brady threw 3 picks. But Aaron Rodgers wasn't able to capitalize, and Brady was. Brady threw 3 picks, but when it mattered the most, he made the plays that needed to be made to win the game. When it mattered the most for the Packers, Aaron Rodgers didn't make those plays. He didn't capitalize on any of the turnovers Brady had. He had 3 interceptions. He didn't capitalize on any of the turnovers, and Brady made the throw of the game right before halftime. I know for those who can't remember, right before halftime, Brady hit the little speedy receiver on a deep route right before halftime. He beat Kevin King for a touchdown. And that to me is essentially what won the game. What about you?
Yeah, man. I'm telling you, though, Brady. And the fact that getting Leonard Fournette back, like that's a key. He's a freaking monster, man.
He went crazy in the playoffs.
He's and like their offensive line, they're gonna be healthy. I think they're
all back, healthy.
And like they were missing somebody that was out for a minute, and now he's back. So now it's just like these guys, like with being able to have a training camp where these guys can fully learn the system.
Full off season.
Oh my God, Jeff! Like this team is going to be, they're going to be like I said, they're going to cause problems. They don't even, and the thing is with them, they don't even have to really do too much during the regular season because they know what time it is. Because they know Tom Brady knows what time it is. It's the only way. people better hope they have a bad season and get messed up in the seating, but they'll go on the road and win.
But it's not going to happen. You know why? Because the division, Carolina, is down. They're in a transition with their quarterback, and the Saints are down. The Saints were the team that could, knock you off, but with no Drew Brees, they're going through a transition period. They don't even know who the quarterback is right now. And the Falcons ain't scaring nobody. I'm just be honest. Ain't nobody scared of the Falcons. That's why they got rid of Julio. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I think this division is going to be a cakewalk for Brady in the Bucs. And then, like you said, even if they lose a couple of games early to some teams they probably shouldn't lose to, the fact that they'll be able to win this division in their sleep is rough. It's rough for the rest of the NFC.
7 games might win that division easily. Because I don't trust Matty Ice. I don't trust him. I just don't trust him. I don't think they've got to a point where, I'm saying, they're going to be like scary contenders. Now, they do have some good pieces, but don't see it. So those are my people. I definitely do think Trey Lance is going to be a beast if he get presented the starting position for the 49ers.
Yeah. Trey Lance he's interesting. He hadn't played football in almost 2 years, so it's going to be interesting to see him. But I like his skill set is just phenomenal, right? Like his potential's through the roof. I'm still a Justin Fields guy. Would have picked Fields over Trey Lance. That's just me. But hey, I'm not mad at them because I think Trey Lance has a crazy high ceiling. Just got to go out there and prove it. Mark, I'm going to get you out on this because we've been doing this once again. I'm talking to Mark Webster of Talk It Up Sports. Be sure to hit the thumbs up button, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Mark, I'm going to get you out on this. I'm not going to tell you to pick any like Super Bowl predictions or anything like that because we'll do that before the season starts here in about a month or so. But if you had to pick a breakout player, maybe an MVP candidate, maybe your potential MVP, we won't make any predictions yet. A breakout player for the 2021 season. I'm kind of putting you on the spot because we didn't talk about this beforehand. But if you need some time, I'll tell you mine first, and then I'll allow you to think about it some. A breakout player, a guy that I could see really, really like potentially winning an MVP this season. I know I spoke about him a little bit earlier. But I think it's Matthew Stafford. And here's why. Matthew Stafford isn't someone, he's a household name. He's the number 1 pick. He's been to Pro Bowls and stuff. And he had, Calvin Johnson, his receiver, just got inducted to the Hall of Fame this past weekend. So he's a guy a lot of people know. But Matthew Stafford has been on a team that's lost a lot of games for a long time. Matthew Stafford is going to an offense, like I said earlier, that makes quarterback stats on steroids, dude. Think about it. Matt Ryan won an MVP when his coordinator was who? Kyle Shanahan. Jared Goff led the Rams to the Super Bowl with this offense. We just saw Aaron Rodgers potentially have his best season. We're talking about Aaron Rodgers potentially just had his best season ever in his career playing in this offense. The offense that is ran by Sean McVay, Kyle Shanahan, and Matt LaFleur. All 3 of them run the same offense. All 3 of them have had record-setting performances with different quarterbacks with this offense. I think Matthew Stafford is the next up. I think he's the one that's going to do it. If I had to pick a preseason MVP, I'm going Matthew Stafford. Even as tough as that division is, I think Matthew Stafford gets it done. Mark, what say you?
So I don't have a season like a preseason MVP, but I do have a player that we can say that might really develop in this new system, and that's Sam Darnold. I think him being away from New York is a saving grace for him. He's going to be able to have a new, fresh start. He looks excited. His mobility is still there. Like he can really turn things around now. Well, of course, playoffs probably not, but I think that he can start making his name again and to really revamp his career because the quarterback they're bringing in that they brought in with the Jets, he's going to be a bust. But that's a whole other story. Sam Darnold has potential to really turn things around and really get that franchise back onto a winning type of culture.
Absolutely. That is Mr. Mark Webster, Mr. Webby Webb himself. You can find him at Talk It Up Sports on all social media platforms. I am Jeff Lightsey Jr. here with the Black Boss Channel, and you can follow me. I'm trying to grow my Facebook audience, Jeff Lightsey Sports on Facebook. I post all this kind of content on there, so go over to Facebook, Jeff Lightsey Sports on Facebook. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we will see you next time. Mark, appreciate it. Talk to you soon. Peace.